Men,
Giants,
Kadashim.
lend us your ears. Welcome back to the Brothers Gwynne. Today we'll be covering the top 10 moments that we think make up Malice. So obviously there's going to be spoilers ahead, a lot of spoilers. So if you've not read Malice yet, what are you doing? Go buy it now. But I would advise strongly not to watch this. Read it and then come back to this video.
Yeah, read Malice, join the warband, come back and watch our video. See if you agree with us. Let us know in the comments below, please, what your top 10 moments of Malice are, whether you agree with us. But let's get straight into it. Number 10, our 10th favourite moment in Malice is when Corban sneaks into Brina the Witch's house.
Yeah, we just love that. The whole build-up with Brina being this really mysterious figure. She's quite scary. We stumble across her once before at Marek's wedding, and everyone is terrified of her. Children, men, women, warriors, all alike. They are all scared of Brina. And when he sneaks in, there's this whole build-up to try and prove himself, and we're met by the first word we hear from Kraft.
Stealer! I mean, imagine just hearing that. In the dark, you're stealing a hair comb from a witch that you're terrified of to give to a bully such as Rafe, who we don't like at all.
No.
And then all of a sudden you hear a crow shout "Stealer" in your ear. Now, what a great moment. We loved meeting Brina for the first proper time. We loved meeting Kraft as well. Yeah. Kraft becomes such a wonderful member of the group, of the book, throughout them all as well. So yeah, it's a great moment to see Kraft, and that was our 10th favourite moment.
So into our 9th moment of Malice, we would say that it is Macquinn and Castell have their final stand against the Hunan. So this is about our second chapter with Macquinn and Castell, and they are guarding a caravan, guarding we don't know what at the time, and they are ambushed by a bunch of giants. The first time we've met the giants.
Yeah, mean Hunan giants.
Yeah, we've never met them before this, and so it's epic already. It's the first proper conflict that you experience within Malice, and somehow they escape and they're riding away in the mists, and the Hunan catch up with them.
Yeah, there's about a score or so angry giants chasing them. Macquinn's mount goes down, and then all of a sudden Castell decides to make a last stand with his good friend Macquinn, and together they show straight away kind of the themes of Malice, you know, friendship and bonds of loyalty straight away from the second chapter, and it's just awesome. They get saved just in time by Castell's uncle, but what a great moment, what a really good introduction to those two characters as well.
So now on to the 8th moment.
On to our 8th moment is when Corban duels Rafe in the hall in Duncarrig at the end of Malice. Now, onward, what a moment. It's been building up through the whole book, hasn't it?
Yeah, this face down of the bully versus the victim.
Yeah, and finally, Corban has got Rafe on level terms. They each have a sword. They're each against each other, one against one, in a duel. But obviously, this duel is to save Storm's life. Whether if Rafe wins, then Storm will be executed.
The stakes are high.
Yeah, exactly. And I just love how quickly the duel is over.
Yeah.
It just shows Corban's skill, how he's been trained by Gar alongside the great Hallion as well. It's just a testament to the teacher's skill and also the work that Corban has put in, especially as he's a few years younger than Rafe.
Yeah, I think my favourite moment is that when Rafe threatens Storm, we see that all Corban's friends gather around him. Hallion, Camlin, all these people, his Farrell and Dath, all his friends, they stand in front of him, and it reminds me of the moment in Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows Part 2 where Harry reveals himself to Snape in Hogwarts, and McGonagall and everyone stands in front to protect him. I get goosebumps talking about it,
really
and
cool.
it just reminds me of that moment, and it shows, again, as you were saying, that theme of friendship and how it really comes to play.
Absolutely.
So now into our 7th moment, which is
the power of words. Now,
what a great scene.
Yeah, if you've read Malice, which of course we hope that you have read Malice before watching this video, we are sure that you know what we mean when we say the power of words. This is when Thanon decides to show Corban a thing or two by teaching him how you can sort out differences with a conversation rather than violence. Needless to say, Thanon is not very well known for his patience, or, for a matter of fact, for the power of his words.
No.
Usually the power of his fists in the pugil ring. And I just love how Gar tags along for the ride. and then all of a sudden Thanon is having a big old punch up with Hellfatch, and it's just awesome. Absolutely love it.
So cool.
Yeah.
I think that explains it. You're expecting, even though you're a bit sceptical, oh, is he going to show the power of words? But you're thinking, oh, he must be. He must be controlled if he's doing it for a lesson for his son. And then suddenly it just gets into just a brawl, and Gar's there just laughing.
Yeah, Gar and Corban are kind of a bit shocked, and then they're laughing. I think that's the first time you see Gar laugh in the book. And we're one of the few. And also, I love how Thanon is against Hellfatch, and then you've got Budeye, Thanon's hound, against... I can't remember the name of Hellfatch's...
Neither can I off the top of my head, but against Hellfatch's hound.
Yeah, and it's just 2 punch-ups. It's great, and also Thanon gets the better of Hellfatch, so we absolutely love that.
So now,
the next one.
is our 6th moment, I think, and it is when Shield saves Corban.
The tension in that scene is just
so
unreal.
much tension. We have Hellfatch letting loose his hound, which is about to maul Corban, and he can see Storm is running to try and save him, and he's just thinking if Storm attacks the hound, she's going to be killed.
Yeah, you've got a few kind of different things combating each other there, haven't you? You've got the threat of Corban being injured by the hound. You've got the threat of Storm injuring the hound or Hellfatch. So that way Storm will be put to death as well, but because when Corban was allowed to storm, they said, didn't they?
It was
Queen
under
alone said,
conditions.
as long as Storm doesn't hurt any member of Duncarrig, and I think a dog counts as a member. Unfortunately, especially a dog from the Queen's huntsman as well. So what a moment! And then Shield, the horse, the pony, comes in and kills the hound. What a moment!
So
I did not
unexpected.
see it when I first read that. I did not see that coming whatsoever. And I was just, the relief that went through me then was just amazing. And then Corban's like, I will call you Shield. Just awesome. I love how he names his animals after something that happens, whether there's a storm on that evening or they protect him. So absolutely love it. On to our next one then, Will.
So our 5th best moment of Malice, I would say, and I think you agree, Toll versus Morcant. The first time. But that duel where Toll flicks, is it ashes or dust?
Yeah, into the mud.
Mud into Morcant's face.
Eye,
and it shows that even though he's a lot older, a bit slower, he's an
old for a
incredible
reason.
warrior.
He's got his old
for a
tricks.
reason. And I just love this moment because Morcant, he's just so smug. You hate him so much. And Toll, you get those side characters who become your favourites in books. And Toll was one of those. He was my favourite character.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that duel reminds me of kind of the Rob Roy duel. Tull is very much like Liam Neeson, isn't he? And Morcant is also very much like Tim Roth.
Archibald.
That guy. Oh,
okay,
honestly, so good. I love that duel. How Tull also has a few tricks up his sleeve here, like the quote goes in A Time of Dread. He's old for a reason. So and Tull was such a cool character. Such a shame he didn't make it to the end of Malice and through to the later books. But what an awesome guy. On to our next one then.
Our 4th moment is when Storm is saved as a pup, when Corban first meets her. So the whole build up, they're on the hunt, you're thinking that you can feel the tension rising, but you're not sure what's going to happen.
They're just drumming, they're drumming, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're whacking sticks, trying to drive...
The beaters.
Yeah, that's it. They're driving through the forest, and all of a sudden Corban comes upon the Wolven den, and he sees that it's the Wolven pups. And the mother of these Wolven pups is the Wolven that he saved earlier on in Malice. And what a moment when you see kind of the threads align, you see that him kind of realise that, and without thinking, it just shows again his loyalty, just kind of his heart, his true heart comes out then, and against all of these soldiers, a 14-year-old boy, he stands up against them, he's clutching this Wolven pup, and he doesn't know what to do from there, but he just knows his instincts is to save her. And what a great decision from Corban. We're so we're relieved he did.
Standing against Evnis.
Yeah, and Evnis was fuming, wasn't he? Because did his wife just pass away?
Well, his son was injured under the horse.
Yeah, his son was hurt, wasn't he? In the fight between the soldiers and the Wolven. So he's even angrier. He then tramples the Wolven pups, and there's one surviving, which is a horrible moment.
She becomes Storm.
Yeah,
who we all love.
Goes home and names her. But those few chapters with Corban, because they end on such cliffhangers, don't they? And you're like, oh no, I need to get to the next one. And then you're like, oh, we've got a Varadish chapter. That's amazing.
There's another cliffhanger.
Yeah, exactly. So just love how it's paced there. And, what an awesome moment meeting Storm for the first time.
So now on to our third moment, and it is the Drake charge of the Shechem against Varadis' shield wall. So the first time we see the shield wall in action, and the first time we see drakes, basically dragons.
Giant Komodo dragons.
Yeah.
Yeah, just without the wings.
And you feel so tense, and it just
It's
brings
so
up
epic
the
already.
epic scale jump.
Even though it's not like in later books where there's massive battles, it's still a big battle between kind of a healthily sized warband against I don't know, I can't remember how many drakes there are.
A lot.
I think there's about 100 or 120.
The Shechem are meant to
wasn't
be
there?
very strong.
They're a very powerful tribe in Tarbesh, I believe they
Yeah.
are. And oh my, what a scene where Varadis, the first time they're putting the shield wall into use, which is a little bit like kind of the phalanx kind of battle formation, and you know, you think it's going to work. It didn't work too well at first against the drakes because they're so big and powerful, but Varadis, they'd trained their troops so well, they really came together.
Yeah.
Nether's charge at the back of
The
them.
hammer and
the
anvil.
hammer and the anvil coming together against the drakes, and you meet drakes up close. The giants with their axes or riding them. I mean, just imagining being there. You know, you think Battle of Hastings was, you know, pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
Being charged down by
By
cavalry.
cavalry.
Imagine giant Komodo dragons. That's
Imagine
just
normal
terrifying.
Komodo dragons.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
It's already terrifying.
So, what a moment. We love that. On to the next one.
So our second moment is when Gar destroys, and we use that very specifically, destroys the Eagle Guard. I think we love this moment. Obviously, it's heartbreaking. Thanon has just been killed
By the shield wall.
Yeah.
A small shield wall in action, isn't it?
And at this point, you feel Gar's got some tricks up his sleeve, and he may be a good warrior. But at this point, you've not really seen him in action. You've seen him a bit during,
Especially with someone as tough as Thanon and he's as commanding as Thanon has just been killed. You know, Bud Eye's been injured as well, and it's just you're so scared for Gar to then make the same mistake.
And then
all of a
he
sudden, he
annihilates.
just draws this sword, and he's rolling around a little bit like Chingachgook in at the end of the Last of the Mohicans, when he rolls underneath his blade and then comes back with a swinging blow and takes out Rauka, who you already know from Varadis'
and
chapters.
you like him.
You kind of like Rauka. It's like, oh no, but they're on the wrong side.
Yeah.
And then Gar just showing actually he doesn't have a limp. He's not really a horse master. He's actually a pretty amazing warrior. So,
Yeah.
And then they kind of
face off against Samur.
face against Samur, who's also one of the Jihar as well. So what an awesome moment, and for Korban to actually see his trainer, his master, in action in a very unconventional way, picking apart a shield wall. Just amazing.
Yeah, and it's like the climax is at the ending, and there's all these twists and turns, and you think, oh, come on, there's not going to be much more. Then you just have to escape now. But then you have another twist as Gar just annihilates everyone.
Absolutely.
And that duel against Samur as well is amazing.
Phenomenal. And that whole last section is just I didn't pause for breath when I read it, and I must have read it about 20-30 times. Just amazing. So we've got
now,
a few honourable mentions, haven't we? We've got a few honourable mentions, 3 ones that didn't quite make it into our top 10, but I mean, if we could make a top 100 moments of Malice, that would still be tricky.
Yeah.
So Will, what's our first one?
So our first one is Varadis leads the Vanguard against the army of Carnatan.
Yeah, I think that's King Mandros, isn't it?
King Mandros.
He supposedly killed King Aquilus, Nether's father, and High King of Tenebral.
Yeah.
And onward, Varadis is just fuming, isn't he? He's angry that Nether's been stabbed, he's injured. It's the first campaign where Varadis is kind of equally in charge, isn't he? Is it with Peritus?
Yeah.
The Tenebral battle chief, but he takes his warband, his shield wall, into a ford, into a river, and which is usually the most dangerous position, especially in an army that's walking, moving across, especially in a river, in a stream where your footing isn't very solid, and they get pelted with a whole warband ambushing them. They just line up their phalanx, their shield wall, and just get to stabbing.
Yeah.
It's brutal stuff, where the water turns red, but what a scene.
Yeah, and it ends in Varadis becoming a king killer, which is a huge moment that affects Varadis for a long time.
A long time. And our second one is when Calidus reveals himself to be Ben-Elim, which, yes.
Yeah, but it's a big moment. It's again that epic scale goes right up, and you're not really expecting it. You think that Calidus there's something different about him. But it's at the moment where you think the Jihar aren't going to join us there. How's he going to convince them? And Calidus thinks, I know the trick. And he just reveals himself.
Yeah, pretty much.
And Viradis is left in awe.
Yeah.
And then our third honourable mention is when Camlin is, he's going to be hanged the next day, and he is rescued by Braith, and Corban and Kywin just come out of nowhere with Storm as a pup, and they have no idea what to do. They're young children.
Just kind of standing there like,
and they make a deal basically that Braith will take Marek as a hostage, but release him as soon as they're out of the city if Corban and Kywin don't tell anyone. And what a cool moment. I was thinking, how's Camlin going to survive this?
Yeah.
And even though he's a prisoner, you kind of like him already, don't you? And yeah, so that was our third honourable mention.
So let's get on to our top pick, our favourite moment of Malice. It's quite a long moment, but it is the ambush with Queen Ilona and Tull, where Morcant ambushes them when the whole plot in Narvon is being unfolded. And you think, kind of, we're near the end of the book now. Things are kind of simmering down a little bit. All of a sudden, it just ramps it up to 20 out of 10, doesn't it? It's just, what a moment then as well. And there's not enough soldiers with Tull, the first sword of Ardan, to save Queen Ilona. So he makes a final stand and he takes out all of these.
It's from Camlin's perspective.
It's from Camlin. It's from a few different perspectives, because you've got Kywin on Tull's side, then you've got Camlin watching on the other side where he's taking part, and he doesn't really know what side he should be on, but he's kind of following his leader, who is Braith. And Onward, that moment just knocked me out of the park. It was just so heartbreaking, and
shocking,
and Morcant, he loses the duel earlier, and then he fights unfairly against Tull, gets him to shoot him first, and then he goes and finishes him off, stabs him. And then that whole section afterwards of the chase where Corban and Storm are reunited, and then Storm actually leads them to Kywin, and they save Queen Ilona, and Ronan dies, and Camlin switches sides, and Corban kills someone for the first time, and Gar is being tested by Connell. Connell's saying, you're just a little cripple, get out of here, we don't want you with us, you'll slow us down. And Gar keeps up, because obviously he hasn't really got a limp, but he's got to just carry this pretense over, hasn't he? But Onward, what a moment, just absolutely just heartbreaking and heart pumping as well, all in one.
So they're the top 10 moments of Malice that we chose. Let us know if you agree, or if there's any others that really hit you hard, whether it was emotional, whether it was just a funny moment or epic. Let us know what you think, and just thank you for watching. We hope this reminded you of some parts of Malice that you'd forgotten, and brought a smile on your face.
We will be doing a video about our top 10 favourite moments in Valor as well, and hopefully we'll go through all of the series and until we get to the Shadow of the Gods, which we're really looking forward to. So guys, take care, truth and courage.
The Brothers Gwynne, truth and courage.